if we're looking back on it and we're actually going to break it down, they didn't tell us nothing.
No.
They didn't teach us nothing. They didn't give us an advantage of anything. They taught us things that they thought we should know or things they wanted us to hone in on, but none of it applied to anything that I ever did.
Outside of general biology and English class and just fucking a little bit of math, all that other shit was useless. Like, I could not, for the life of me, understand why I took Algebra 3. Like, I have no fucking idea.
None of that stuff.
No, I don't
But
remember
we also have to understand, all of us know and agree the schools do not teach you the proper stuff to go out and live a life.
Oh. Welcome back to another episode of the Outlaw Way podcast.
You see this fucker's shoes?
What
I just
shoes?
now seen his shoes.
Oh, he's wearing Birkenstocks. I mean, it's a fashion choice that I never hopped on with.
Looks like a
gotta be better.
80-year-old woman's
they're like the
house shoes.
prideful croc. In my
No,
opinion.
no, you gotta get you some executive crotch, baby.
Shit, but we are on the couch with T. Stu, Cheeto, Nacho's wife JJ, whoop, whoop, and Nacho's new dog Bougie.
Welcome
And me,
to
of course.
23.
Me, of course. Welcome to 2023. Today we are hitting on. I wish I knew now, or no, I wish I knew then.
You're not gonna
what I know
introduce me?
now. Oh shit, my bad, Gabe.
I'm nobody.
Gabe Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Nacho and JJ's son is joining us today as a special guest star, along with Bougie. I'm not really sure who I like more. Bougie.
Bougie.
Bougie?
Not bougie.
Well, you shouldn't have had a difficult name in North
That is
Louisiana
Hooch.
on a dog.
That is Hooch from Turner and Hooch. That dude. Look at him.
It's
Her.
gonna
Look
be
at
a
her.
massive
In a minute, we're going to get my wife to talk into the mic.
But we are talking today about what we know now and what we wish we knew then. All that good shit right there. Let's go ahead and
Which
start
is
out.
why our guest stars are here.
Yeah.
Mr. Gabe here has got a lot going on in a quick time and a young time in his life, and we're going to dive into that. And we're going to dive into how it was when our lives were that way. But basically, like when you were growing up, your parents taught you things. When you went to school, you learned things. When you put all that together and you put your bag on your backpack and you walked out that door at 18 years old, did you have your hands on it? Did you know everything? Were you ready?
Oh, shit, I'm 26 and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hell
at the
no,
time.
I wasn't ready.
Well, in my day, they painted you a picture. Like there was a white picket fence, American dream. It was preached to us. You know,
That's
your
when
wife, 2 kids, dog, this is what you're going to have. They didn't tell us about taxes, checkbooks,
taxes,
balancing, groceries, like they didn't, insurance. They didn't give you all that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
but back then you could kind of afford the house.
Hey,
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I wish if I could put any curriculum into the works in any school nowadays, it would be to teach people about finances. Just the entry level. What taxes are. What a W-2 is.
Exactly.
What a W-9
Gabe,
is.
how many hours of your life did you spend listening to your daddy preach to you about taxes and finances?
A lot.
But did he teach you anything? Did he
Oh,
sit
yeah.
you down and
Oh, no.
show you how to do it?
I learned a lot. Don't get me wrong, but there's still a lot of stuff you just can't cover until you've been there.
Schooling for financing.
So as a narrative real quick, and then we'll turn it over and let him kind of tell this. So just to give everybody out there a synopsis real quick. Gabe, early 20s, okay, out of high school, goes to college, becomes a paramedic, gets married, goes into the Air Force. Now he's getting shipped overseas to England, and he's having a new baby. So in a
That's
matter
a
of
lot
a
at
couple,
one time.
in a
You're
matter
on
of
the
a couple
fast
years,
track.
in a matter of a couple years, straight out of high school, life is punching him right dead square in the face right now.
Oh, yeah.
So the question is, do you have your hand on it? Can you handle it?
I mean, so we were talking about this the other day, but there's a term here. So it's like I read it into it a little while back, but it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it's like the not knowing what you don't know kind of thing. That's where I'm at right now. So I have at least had the last 3 years by myself, not living in the house with my parents. So we've kind of got a decent grasp on finances. But now we got a baby on the way. We're moving to a different country where I don't even know how to translate a pound to a dollar. much less a euro or
A lot to learn.
pence or any of this other stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, I mean, you take it in stride. I mean, you got, like you said, a new country. So let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay. So new land. We're going to land there. We're going to check it out. There's nothing you can do but figure it the fuck out. I mean, you're thrown in the middle of it. Yeah. You're not going to have any family. You're not going to have any friends. It's just with you and your wife. Grab it by the horns.
Just flying in general. Shit fire, man.
Oh yeah. So we're actually flying out on the 16th, right? We won't land until the next freaking day.
Yeah.
That was one thing that surprised me when I did my first flight alone, for work and everything like that. Nobody tells you how to fucking navigate an airport or fly until you have to go through that traumatic first experience.
Yes.
And if you're by yourself, like I was, you have nobody else.
And if the first one they send you to is Atlanta,
Oh yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
that was the
I
first
got
airport
sent-
I ever flew into.
my God.
I went to Chicago my first
Oh,
time.
you went to O'Hare.
Yeah.
My
and when
Lord.
I tell you, I was fucking
O'Hare
lost.
doesn't have a tram, Kia. Just for
I've been to O'Hare.
yeah, no tram. So Dallas, Atlanta, some of the bigger airports, you can jump off your gate, get on a train, boom, they'll take you to the next gate. O'Hare, you got to hoof it, baby.
You got to fucking knees to chest that motherfucker.
Knees to
I
chest.
flew into one
40-minute layover, and
I'm
you got to go to
telling
the
you.
other side of the airport.
I did not make it.
They at least have the
40-minute layover. You got to
treadmills
run.
that can
They
run
have the
on.
little treadmills you can walk on out there, but you've still got to clear probably, it's probably only like 3 miles, 4 miles, but it's not straight. You got to weave through the shopping center, the food court, 18 escalators up and down through 4 hallways where there's nothing but people just walking back and forth.
But
You
now
get
get
lost
this.
quick.
He's going out of the country for the first time, going through all these airports. Now you got to throw customs in the mix.
Yeah, I've never been. to
Other
customs
things that is
before.
jacked up. The Air Force comes a month ago, packs up his house and ships it in a shipping container. So they're living out of a suitcase until they fly
And the
over
funny
there.
part is he'll be there
When
for a week before he gets his house.
Oh, a month.
No,
It's
he'll be
still,
there a
it's still in
month.
the ocean.
3 months.
3 months?
I'm lucky. I'm taking a month of leave, so it will knock that 3 months down to 2 months. But
But still, though, I
It's
just don't
3
understand.
months for your stuff to ship.
Yeah, but there's so much stuff that you did that I know now, just in general, that I didn't know when I was 18 or 19 or 20 or things like that make absolutely no sense.
Well, they didn't tell us anything.
Yeah.
If we're looking back on it and we're actually going to break it down, they didn't tell us nothing.
No.
They didn't teach us nothing. They didn't give us an advantage of anything. They taught us things that they thought we should know or things they wanted us to hone in on, but none of it applied to anything that I ever did.
Honestly, outside of general biology and English class and just fucking a little bit of math, all that other shit was useless. Like I could not, for the life of me, understand why I took algebra 3. Like I have
Calculus
no
3.
fucking idea.
None of that stuff.
No, I don't
But we
remember any
also
of
have
it.
to understand, all of us know and agree the schools do not teach you the proper stuff to go out and live a life.
Oh,
Like
hell.
at all. The school system is out.
Home ec
But-
when I was in school taught you how to fucking fry a piece of toast
Well,
with
they don't
egg
even
in the
do
middle.
that. They don't even do that anymore.
I do.
But
All your home ecs are gone. All your vocationals are gone. It's very rare to
just
find.
like JJ was saying a minute ago, I did take the time to sit my kids down and have those conversations where they're like, Dad's talking again. I'm telling them about financing a home or finances or investments or how taxes work and interest rates work. And we go through all that stuff. And we had those conversations, but you can't have enough conversations to fully prepare somebody to move
That's
to
what I was
England
gonna say.
all by themselves.
No, you
we
can't.
had the conversations. I get a lot of it now where my kids come back to me and go, "You were right. I should have listened to this or I should listen to that."
Yeah.
But even those conversations, I wasn't giving them the answers because I didn't have them.
Right.
I was trying to give them the knowledge I had at the time to kind of prepare them for what was coming. But that was all it was doing. It wasn't telling them how to do it or wasn't explaining
it's,
to them how to do it.
Even if you tell them and you go through this stuff, they get out, start living life, and then they realize that a light bulb comes on one day and they go, "Oh, I know what you was talking about now."
Yeah.
Because they had to live it a minute.
Yeah, and
They had to go experience it.
Even in that, which the worst part about that is, no matter what y'all tell your kids, it's a 50-50 shot where it might just not be that way anymore.
It's true.
Like so when I went and bought my
You're right.
last vehicle, my grandpa was like, "You go up there, you barter with them, you tell them you're not paying this, you don't want this." That's fucking not how it works. Unless you're paying for that fucking thing.
Well,
Yes.
the market changed on you in the middle of that. So
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm
used
saying.
to, you could do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like the things that my parents and grandparents grew up doing in their life and their lifestyle, half that shit is non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
Like
in the car industry, used to you could barter, bring the price down because they had profit built in it.
Yeah.
Now,
You pay
if
for
you don't
whatever
want to
the
buy
fuck's
it
on
for
the
this
sticker.
price, that's fine. I got this guy over here
Yeah,
waiting.
somebody else will. No big
But
deal.
It does change. I mean, I can go back to my dad when I was going to move out of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling him, Dad, I'm gonna work smarter than harder. I'm gonna go get this job, and I'm gonna make more money than you're talking about. He said, that ain't the way life works, son. The harder you work, the more money you make.
And that is not true anymore.
And he pushed that so hard that when I finally moved out, I went and got an easier job and made more money than he was making. And it just tore his world apart.
Yeah.
He was like, I have been telling my son this. That is the way freaking life is. And he hates the world's changed, and he's just he
We've
done got
touched
old
on
and-
it. We've touched on
he
it
done got
several
old and
times.
pissed about it. But exactly what you said. What he was teaching me was not the case anymore.
We've touched on it several times in several different episodes, but OnlyFans, Instagram, TikTok, social media,
Social media.
the
Anything
life
on the
we
internet.
live in right now is so easy to make money. All the people that
And it
say,
is jacked up.
yeah, it is. All the people say, I can't get a job. I can't get it. We've touched on this.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
bullshit.
out there. You might
There
take
is
a little
work.
effort, but I'm going to tell you, like he just said, the effort you got to put in right now to make $1 million compared to the effort we had to put in when we were 20,
To make
compared to
100
the
grand.
effort that our parents put in when they were 20,
It's a day and
it's
night.
night and day.
Yes.
Yeah, my
It's not even
grandparents,
comparative.
the literal odds of my grandparents being able to make $1 million when they were growing up, almost non-existent.
Yes.
Because $1 million then was such an outrageous amount of money.
Well, back then, a millionaire back then, they were far and few between.
Yeah.
It was something that just most people could not fathom.
Nowadays,
everybody's a millionaire.
yeah,
I mean,
everybody's got $1 million.
A million ain't nothing now. Now we're talking billions and trillions.
Yeah, it's like, $1 million is still an insane amount of money. But the amount of people that actually do make that now compared to what it 20 years ago, 10
Yes.
years ago, is
Technology
just
changed all of that.
You know,
technology.
Used to, you go around, you'd ride around to town, you look at these, oh, that's the rich neighborhood. You
Yeah.
got these neighborhoods with $750,000 homes, and you're like, wow, like that is the couple, a few big doctors in town. That is
Yeah.
the CEO of this company in town, and now it blew my mind just a few weeks ago. My youngest son's looking for a house.
$350,000 is usually entry price around.
That is they're looking at $350,000 houses. And I'm telling them, you've lost your rabbit ass mind if you're going to go buy your first house at that. I go sit down with the realtor, which I know and have bought houses with before.
Yeah.
And he said, Nakia, $150,000 entry level house from 2 years ago is
It's a-
$300,000 now.
It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom now.
So
In the South.
we're
Now go up north. Go
Yeah,
up north.
It gets worse.
It gets way worse.
But
San Antonio
how-
was bad.
San Antonio's bad.
How
It's
in
real
West
bad.
Monroe, Louisiana, you can get online right now and go to looking, and the majority of houses online are over $500,000.
Yeah.
I don't know where all these people work.
Well, I'm going to tell you, my
Why?
neighbor just sold his house. I just got new neighbors. 2 weeks before we put it on the market, I toured it.
Yeah.
I looked at possibly buying it to have both the properties. Appraised, had people come in and look at it, surveyed. Hold on. I personally believe the house is worth about three and a quarter.
Yeah.
It appraised for about I think it was $355. He sold it for $439.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
He paid $439 for a house that appraised for $355.
Yeah. And speaking
Oh yeah,
of
same
speaking
in
of
San
appraisal,
Antonio. San Antonio, you're getting 50,000 over appraisal
Yeah.
That's
anywhere
crazy.
you go.
and you're getting it every day down there.
But that is changing.
It's
I
coming
just
back.
had the conversations with the realtor the other day, and home sales are extremely low right now. They're back down. Interest rates are back up.
Same thing with vehicles.
Well, they're coming
Everybody
back.
kept saying they was coming back to normal, blah, blah, blah.
They
blah.
did. No, I just bought a
But,
new truck for my wife. I'm telling you, I paid 2 weeks ago what I would have paid in 2020. And if I would have bought it any time in between, I'd have paid 15 to 20 over.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. The prices they got on these trucks are stupid.
Yeah.
But it is kind of, moving back around a little bit. But I don't know. The whole world is crazy. And for Gabe, for somebody your age, Tyler, you just got married. Like, I couldn't fathom doing life right now in these times, knowing what I know now, as I fathomed it when I did it. It just seems so much easier when we did it than it is right now.
Well, you know, it's crazy to think of things, how much things change in such a short amount of time. If I could stand up and immediately go back in time and know everything I know now at 18, I would have flown my private helicopter here.
Yes.
Because the amount of money that is literally out there to be made for the stupidest shit is insane.
Well, at 18 years old, I'd got a home life insurance plan. I would have. There's a whole lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Insurance is a whole nother fucking ball game. You know what I never understood was my parents were religious about that. You got to go to the dentist once a month, get a checkup. You got to go. I go to that motherfucker twice a year tops now.
Yeah.
Like, there's some shit that I did as a kid that I thought was a necessity. A bare minimum, you have to do this. You have to do that. No. None of that shit I have to do anymore. Like, bare minimum stuff. Like, when you go into the stupidest thing to me, when you go get insurance and stuff like that, they ask you all these questions, health physicals, blah, 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 blah. And then they charge the ever-living shit out of you, and you do not know what the insurance is for.
I honestly believe insurance is a
Right.
racket. The whole fucking thing's a racket.
Yeah, it's the biggest scam that's ever made it.
It is.
That, the housing industry, the banking
But if you
industry,
don't got it,
all of it.
if you don't got it.
Well,
Insurance and taxes takes better than 60% of my income.
Yeah, well, and it's like, you know, and the thing is, nobody really knows what the fuck's going on half the time with the taxes.
Yes. And I don't
Because-
even have
and
insurance.
they keep changing the codes. They keep
I don't
changing
even have
it.
health insurance. We don't have any insurance that we use.
No.
Yeah.
But we literally have $40,000 a year in insurance premiums we pay.
I'm telling you.
And I don't have any insurance that we use.
Yeah.
And it
Because
don't
if
cover
you
nothing.
use them,
Doesn't cover
It
nothing.
doesn't
if
cover
you,
anything.
if you use them, such as workers' comp, if we have an employee get hurt and we use workers' comp to pay it, then workers' comp goes up forever. It never goes back down.
Yeah.
So you don't want to use the policy.
It makes
So
no
if
sense.
if an employee gets hurt, we pay out of pocket. We take care of our employees.
Yeah.
But if we actually file it on workers' comp that we required by law to have, then the workers' comp policy goes up and you're paying even more premiums.
Yeah.
So you
There's
can't even
two.
use
I
the
saw
stuff
some
you
statistics the other day that if you make over $100,000 a year, six figures, you're in the top 1% of the entire country.
Has that not changed yet?
No,
Yeah, it's changed.
it hadn't changed as of a couple weeks ago when I saw it.
That's crazy.
100 grand,
$100,000.
and you're in the top 1%.
Top 10.
They said
No,
one.
no way. No, not top 10. I could see top 5, but not top 10.
They
I
said
know
the
a
top
lot,
1%.
I know a lot of broke motherfuckers.
That's my question right there. Is if
It's-
we're
it's-
still
it's top 10%.
if we're still on
We
1%,
looked it up the other day. It was between- between-
$90,000 a year is the average salary in the U.S.
Oh, it's like 30,000.
No.
I'm finna look it up right now. Y'all keep talking. I'm
Look
gonna
it
be
up.
able to-
I got it.
Wait, wait,
They
wait.
said 1%, but if that's true, then we have what 400 million people on the planet or something like, or in America.
Billion. Oh shit! I thought you said. I think it's like what 8 billion people,
Oh no, in America it's 390
Oh, I
something
don't know.
million or something.
something like that.
I don't know.
All right, let's say it's 400 million. So you're telling me it's 400 million people, and if the top 1%, 5%, 10% is six figures, then 90% of this world is in poverty.
Yes.
Why? How? With today's society and the ways to make money and the ways to do things,
To be in the
shit, we-
top 1%,
We
you
was
have
way
to
the
break,
fuck off.
you have to break
Was it 300?
you have to break 875,000 to be in the 1%.
So it's just crazy, man. I didn't know that this was this much. Around 1/3 of U.S. households earn 100,000 or more a year.
That's what I told you.
okay, so the statistics.
Let me
Y'all-
see.
Go around and look at all these houses.
These
There's a lot
houses,
of
guys.
big
The
houses.
reason I
People
started
ain't
researching it and looking at it is because the majority of homes in this area are over $500,000. And a lot of them are over $1 million. I don't know who's paying those bills.
The other part of it was, and this might have been the 1% that I'm thinking about, but they said it started bleeding into like the COVID shot and said that 1% of America didn't get it. That 1% was the 1% that didn't fall to the propaganda machine, didn't fall to this, whose parents taught them a little bit more in school on how to live and how to make it in this world. And they got a little bit of extra knowledge about how the world worked that other ones didn't. And that seemed kind of off to me too, because are there that many people that didn't get it?
So what's the average income in the U.S.? What'd you just
Average
look at?
income in the U.S. is around $70,000, but when you're 34, your average net worth is $70,000. When you're 36, your average net worth is $412,000. Somebody's getting their fucking math from the wrong mall across the U.S.
That's because they're comparing Bill Gates, and they're in the same study.
yeah, but still, though,
So they bump up
But
the average.
the top 1% makes over $800,000 annually.
Right. So that's at $875,000 a year to be in the top 1%.
That's a lot of money.
So what got them in the 1%?
And then it goes
It wasn't
up
a school district.
astronomically from
Well,
there.
and you know what? The thing is, I feel like, and I hate to say this, I feel like people were smarter, but at the same time dumber the farther you go back in generations. Like, people had more of a common sense knowledge 30 years ago as they do now. Like, it's...
Well, that was the other part of it that I was going to get to on the propaganda part of it. Was they said that, you know, we talk about Kevins and Karens nowadays.
Yeah.
And we get into these battles and we do things, and one side says that they didn't get taught in school or they didn't get taught by their parents, and one side says that they're stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
They're really on their heel too, though. They're actually preaching what they believe and what is real and what was taught to them, just like we do.
But it's just like John just said. This is a perfect example. You've seen it on TikTok and stuff. In our day, the owner's manual in a truck showed you how to set the timing on the truck. Today's owner's manual says not to eat the contents of the battery.
But at the same time, things these days can't be done by most general run-of-the-mill people, which is crazy because, like, you have to be,
and that's
a
the point, to
pretty
kind of
good
get back
fucking
to how did
mechanic
we
to
end
work
up
on a
here?
2022.
That's the point. How did we end up here? How did we end up in a conversation asking Gabe if he's ready for life?
Yeah.
When he should be. We know he is. Y'all know he is.
Because there was a time that the school system taught you how to live life.
So the school
it
system
slowly
is what
broke
has
away from
changed
there.
everything.
The education system. It started turning into, let's teach them all this shit that they may or may not use.
The biggest thing about it is just the sheer amount of advancement in technology in such a short amount of time has taken everybody growing up in it to a whole nother type of learning. When I was in school, we had phones, but we didn't use tablets. We went to the computer room once a week. We hand wrote our essays. We didn't Google shit. We had to look it up on page such and such for the test. Nowadays, my niece, she's 9 years old. She has a take-home tablet to do her homework on. She has her own hotspot to bring schoolwork home and write essays on. Most of her essays are submitted on a computer, and she's 9.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to effectively use a computer until I was like 22.
Yeah, computers didn't exist when I was in school.
So it's like,
Yes,
you know,
they did. you get mad at him for calling you old, and then you say shit like that.
We didn't have no home computer.
We didn't have no home computer, but they were in school. They were in the library.
Well, he
We
was
knew
over
about
here.
them. They were out there.
You had
No,
a
we
tablet and
had-
a fucking scribe.
We had an Apple
You were playing
when I
Oregon
was in
Trail.
about the 5th grade playing Oregon Trail
Yes.
that you had a floppy disk in. You didn't have no World Wide Web. You had no connection to anything. There was not a computer.
I don't know what school y'all went to.
We from Louisiana.
No,
We had computer lab.
These motherfuckers got in a wagon to
go
We
go
had a
to
TV in every room that was connected to the computer network that showed us the spaceship blowing up in '86, and it showed us like everything. You had
we did not have a computer showing the space shuttle blowing up.
it was computer generated.
No.
It was the first outlook of the World Wide Web. It was an integral.
Okay, I'm
System.
gonna challenge you, and I'll challenge any of our fans to prove that there was a computer in your classroom in '86.
They came out in like 72.
Not in a classroom.
Hey,
Not in Waco,
we had
Texas.
we had a TV.
No, it was a server.
We had a TV in every room. Every room.
Yeah,
the
had
quarter
a-
mount.
we had a
And
TV.
it was up in the corner. It had a network on it. It was like a TBS. It was called something, something, something. That network
Public
played at
Broadcasting
every school. No, it was a school network. It played at every school. And it did certain things during the day. And if you go back and do the history on it, that was the first rollout of what is now www. It turned into the internet. It was a informational thing that they started rolling out to students. It's where I watched the shuttle blow up. It was on that network.
You're older than me, and we did not have computers when I was in school.
We
No,
had
it was
computer
shitty
labs.
school. We had a
You went to Pinecrest.
no, they didn't exist. There was a keyboard.
That's just what they told you to not get your
There
hopes up about life.
There was a keyboard
We didn't
that you could plug into a TV.
Yeah.
And you had a book, and you could type in all these ones and zeros.
A binary code.
That
Was like
18,
5th grade.
18. Yeah.
But it still
That was
like 10 pixels on a screen called Oregon Trail. Like we didn't even realize we was on a computer.
We were typing essays. By the time I was in high school,
In high school.
Yes, in high school.
I know in middle school, we watched that stuff. We played some games. We were on 3.5 hard disk. Floppy disk was Pong back here.
Well, Tyler, what iPhone do you have? The 14 Pro? What are we on now in our generation? We're good to go.
I don't know. I'm a little back.
I mean,
I'm
my-
on like the 12. I got like a 12.
I mean,
Yeah, I
my
got- I
truck
still got
practically drove
Our
itself
generation,
here.
our generation
like
saw
a
the
year
birth of
right
the
here.
World Wide Web.
Yeah.
It saw the birth of the computer. It saw the birth of the cell phone.
And half y'all
it saw
still
the
don't know how
birth
to
of
fucking
cable
use them.
TV. It saw the birth of satellite TV. It saw the birth of satellite radio. Our generation seen everything.
Yeah.
And we did nothing about it.
You know what's crazy?
We thought it was cool. We thought it was badass. We let it roll. And it had completely started screwing our entire world up.
What's crazy is that's like came and went though.
Yeah.
Like satellite and dish and all.
Oh, that's
I mean,
old shit.
I mean, like nobody even watches that anymore. Like
No.
nothing. Like
We stream.
It's only
Right.
streaming YouTube.
It is. It
Yeah.
is really crazy.
Look at the things
If
that have
you
left
look,
since then.
if you look at the timeline, you can see. I mean, we went from when I was a kid, you didn't keep in touch with anybody. When they left the house in the morning, you didn't see them till they got back home.
Yeah.
Unless you went to a phone somewhere and called.
But we have become dependent that way on each other, and I think that's one of the things that really kind of set us back a little bit. People are dependent on others for absolutely no reason now. Like you're saying, like when I was in middle school, I mean, phones were out. They were out, bag phones, and people had flip phones, things like that. Your mom or dad, you dropped you off at high school, you got on the bus, whatever, went to school, and they picked you up. Nowadays, hell, my niece will text me and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" And it'll be like, she'll be like in her third class of the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nothing, pay attention in class." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I'm like, it's like, it's a whole
We had to make our
different-
plans Friday for the entire weekend before we left school.
Yeah.
And you had to tell your mom what you was going to do this weekend before you left the house.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to see you till
And then
Sunday
in
night.
what,
There is no
Then
stay
what,
out till
about
the
ninth-
streetlights come on no more.
about 9th or 10th grade, we started getting our own phone lines. And that was cool.
Yeah.
And then the videos came out and the VHS took off. And then we got Blockbuster. We thought that was the shit. Then Blockbuster went to like Redbox, and you
Yeah.
could. Then the Blockbuster went out of business. Then now the Redboxes are
It is
gone.
just
Yeah, that
It's
is
just-
crazy. The red box.
you
and
know,
all
It's
that
crazy
stuff is
the
gone.
advancements that has happened in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
CDs
really-
didn't get the LPs and albums were out for a long time.
Yeah.
8-tracks were out for a long time. Cassettes were out for a long time. CDs gone.
Yeah.
Right.
We're already
Well, you know,
MP3s.
It's
Another
just
thing that's
strange.
crazy.
I'm only in. I'm 44 years old.
God.
That is not very old.
Yeah, it is.
In 40 years,
44 years. He's old as hell.
we have old Cheeto 46, 47.
46.
So-
Don't be giving me no damn year.
But in those few years, we've been through no communication, no computers to bag phones to cell phones to
And
it's TMI really. It's too much information
You know,
at
I
one
wish-
time.
I wish I would have gotten into some type of computer engineering or software like that when I was younger, because nowadays the way that the industry is going, if you can get on your computer and type some ones and zeros and know what they mean and know what you're doing, you can make an unlimited amount of money anywhere you want to.
Yes.
Look at Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like, what, Tyler, when we were kids, we had the little robot dog toys or whatever, and that was like the coolest fucking thing because they barked and walked around on their own.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can get your kid a full-on AI robot that has Alexa built in that they can have full conversations with and talk to shit. They've got robots.
Did you
out
see the
there.
AI robot on TV, or it was on some video or something a couple weeks ago? And they were at a conference and she was up on the podium and somebody asked her, "How do you know you're a robot?" And her response back was, "How do you know you're a human?" And
Yeah.
it made you think, like, okay, Like, there's some crazy shit that
Yeah.
AI is.
They have fully automated robots. I mean, you got fucking cars driving themselves around delivering pizzas now.
So Gabe,
What?
you're in the
Yeah,
Air
you
Force.
didn't know
What
that?
kind of elite shit do you play with that you can't talk about? Tell us some secret ninja stuff.
We did not just ask that question on the Outlaw podcast. All remarks and
Yeah, no, I think the military is not just that far advanced from my perspective. I mean, I'm still in medicine, so
from my perspective, it's not nowhere near as advanced as it used to be.
Okay, so he just left, so that y'all know, BAMC Medical Center, which is in San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's the only level 1 hospital in the Department of Defense. So he's working in the trauma ICU. So just from that perspective, and before he went into the Air Force, he was here working in the hospital. He's a critical care paramedic. When you was in a civilian hospital, is there much better technology in the only level 1 hospital in the Department of Defense? Or is it technically behind what you would call a level 1 trauma center in the civilian world?
I would have to say it's probably behind. I mean, we just within the last year started rolling out all the new softwares and patient records and all of that stuff. That's just now getting rolled out in the military, whereas back in 2018.
So y'all don't have a machine in the
2017?
back room. You put the sick person in and they come out the other side healed? Or
No.
nothing?
But honestly, think about what
Definitely
he's
don't have
saying.
that, but like,
Think about what he's saying, and it makes sense. Me and you were his age. That's what,
38 years ago.
early 90s?
Oh.
Okay, we're coming out of Gulf Storm or Desert Storm,
Let
and
me
we
spit
are
Marsh
a
everywhere.
freaking superpower. Like, we've been a superpower our whole life. Our grandpas were 17 years old running into gunfire up mountains. We're a superpower. Ever since then, they have been working on depleting and weaker and being unions and one world orders and all this other stuff. We've become this not so much of a superpower anymore.
Common sense has been taken by cell phones, by internet. All the things that we used to
It's too much
play
information.
with and do when we were younger, going to find something to do. You know how many times your parents said that to you? Go find something to do. Go outside, build a fort.
I
We've
said it
done
yesterday
all
to my
that.
grandkid.
These kids can't get off their phone long enough to even learn how to interact with each other. They don't even know how to be social with people if they're not doing it on their phone. They're sitting in restaurants texting each other across the table.
It makes sense, just that we're just going downhill.
I don't
I'll
know.
tell
I mean,
you, yeah, I was gonna say I don't know though, because it's like I feel like back when y'all were younger,
You can't say making money off of feet pictures was more intelligent than we was. That's stupid.
shit, when you get that first $1 million check, you can.
did you post feet pictures?
Still doesn't-
Maybe that's smart.
That's smart, but
Well,
it's,
there's some smartness behind it. I gotta say.
there is
It's still
one thing-
marketing.
It's still
one
marketing.
way or another.
Yeah, I think a
The
lot
stupid
of stuff,
part about it is that we allow somebody to make millions of dollars off of taking
Yeah.
feet.
Well,
supply and demand.
so 10 years
it is
ago,
it's the stupid part is that somebody's willing to pay for that.
10 years ago though, we were mad at football players because they made so much freaking money.
Yeah, now they
Now-
don't make nothing.
You don't hear anybody griping at football players anymore.
It's always
TikTokers
something.
now.
From whatever aspect you come from, we've always had something that we're mad at or angry about or stupid or coming out of left field or something like that. So it's just the next thing, but it doesn't make as much sense now as it did then to me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of thing with the older generation type deal, when you get a job, this is one thing I have learned that I wish I would have known day one. If you're working somewhere and you enjoy the work, that's great. But the moment you don't enjoy the work, you can quit and leave that fucking place. When I was 18, 19, 20, I was like, oh, my folks always told me, oh, you get a job, you keep the job, doesn't matter how bad it is, you keep your head down, you do your work, be a valuable employee, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that.
That right, what
Nowadays-
you just said hurt us as a generation.
Yeah, but
Us
nowadays,
being told to keep our head down and keep our mouth shut, it
Yep.
hurt us.
So now, if something doesn't go your way at work and it's reasonable, not something stupid, like if you're just not getting treated good, just leave and go somewhere else. It's not frowned upon anymore. It's actually praised a little bit to saying, oh, well, you're doing better for yourself.
Yeah.
15 years ago, 10 years ago, it was, oh, he gets jobs everywhere. Oh, he's always somewhere else. He's always
Yes.
quitting.
He's jumping job to
Yeah,
job.
but now it's like, oh, this guy's always bettering himself. He's always on the hunt for the next best thing. Like he's always trying to make more money, trying to better his lifestyle. But like I said, 10 years ago, it was, oh, I don't know if we can hire you. You got too many jobs on your resume. You've gone here, you've gone here. That's one of the things I've learned over the years that I'm glad I did, because now if I don't want to work with someone or do something with them, it doesn't matter. I'll just go do it with somebody else.
I don't think it's that easy in the military, though.
Oh, not in the
Oh
military,
yeah, no. I mean,
I don't know. You pretty much
once you sign that line,
yeah, you sign the line, you're done.
So
You're done.
you signed for 4?
6,
You signed for 6.
Yeah.
So you're in year
3,
3?
Yep.
So you're going to spend how long in overseas? Those 3?
3 to 4 years. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm like right at the 2.5 year mark. So
So you're halfway through your 6. You've gone through basic. You've lived in the big city. You've kind of experienced the military. Are you re-upping? Is this your 6-year run?
that will have to be addressed as I go. I'm still trying to learn the military. The military is a total different way of life. I mean,
Yeah, I had a buddy.
everything changes.
What is it? The
if
DD
his-
214?
If his parents were broke, he would re-up.
Oh no, shit.
Since his parents are not broke, he's considering coming home.
And
What
'cause
is
he
it?
loves his mama and he hates breaking her heart.
What is it? The DD 212, 214?
DD 214.
214 when you get out.
So my buddy just signed his and crossed it. Lives down the road from me. Has my whole life, all that shit. I told him, I was like, "Hey, congratulations, man! You did your thing." He was in the Navy. He was on a boat, all kind of shit. I was like, "What are you gonna do to celebrate?" He was like, "I'm gonna fucking sleep." He was like, "That's my number one goal is to sleep."
I come from a military family. My
Sleep for a
grandfather,
fucking
my
month.
uncle, many cousins, all that. But from what I was told from them, is they all had intentions of doing 4. They all had intentions of going in, getting their college, getting their bonus money, whatever it was. All of them retired. All of them retired.
Well, yeah. So one of the biggest things that I've tried to do throughout my life is anytime someone gives me advice, even if I don't like it, I try to at least store it somewhere to where I can use it later on.
Right.
And talking to all these people, luckily I was fortunate enough to be in the ICU where I got to see a lot of retirees and people that have been in the military for a long time. And after talking to some of these guys, I've never heard one say, "Don't stick with it. You need to get out and use your skills somewhere else." You're talking about 20 years. I joined when I was 22.
So
been
42,
I'm about to be 25.
you retire.
Right.
You got a pension for the rest of your life.
The rest of your
You
life.
got insurance for
everything's
the rest of your
covered.
life.
I've got a GI Bill already, which I have a GI Bill. If I sign again, I can pass that GI Bill off to my daughter or my
Right.
wife.
That's what I was going to say, because I think my
Health
grandfather
care.
died. My
Health
grandmother
insurance.
still got everything that he had. Like, she got his insurance. She got his check. She got to go to the commissary to get the food. She got every advantage that he had when he was alive. And he'd already been gone, and he was dead for 10 or 12 years before she died. And she got it the whole time. It never stopped. So,
I mean, you're talking about retiring at 42. Granted, you might not get all of your benefits until
Right.
you're in your 60s, but you're done.
it does have its
You're
advantage.
done. Go pick up another job, do something part-time, and then that 40 to 65, you're just having fun.
So, does a mother's broken heart get outweighed by retiring at 42 and getting a pension? Or
I don't know. There's also that
Hard
part
topics.
of every guy wants to make himself, that self-made man kind of thing. No one wants to take that. In the South, also, it's a thing where, your family makes something and you continue it on, which is another big aspect to it. But at some point, do you continue to do your own thing and make something of yourself before you come back? Or
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you,
where does that stand?
I'm just going to tell you from experience, he ain't got 20 in him. It might be, I might still be here, but his old ass, he going to be crippled up at home. So,
I'm not.
and I don't think Seth,
assure you-
I don't think Seth's going to grab it. And I don't think.
I can assure you that I got 20 years in me, but I will not be running like I have ran in 2022 very much longer.
Oh, I'm just getting started.
I would absolutely.
I'm just getting my second win.
I
We're
would
finna roll.
love to hand the reins to somebody else and just go do the fun shit.
Well, I know what he's talking about because we've had this conversation to where you build a business and you have kids. You want nothing more than to pass that to your kids and give them, per se, a leg up. We did the hard work. All you got to do is hold on to the reins.
Just maintain.
But it's not really that simple
With that
because
being said, though, he also instilled those values of be your own person.
Right.
And that's why he gave me advice my whole life.
right, but it's not
Otherwise-
as simple as it's cut and dry because you
Times
have a
are
different
changing.
personality.
Right.
All my daughters have a different personality. Seth has a different personality. What if none of the kids want it? What if none of the kids, this is their dream? What if his dream is what he's doing? So you have to, kind of, I would say, as a parent from my aspect, just kind of take a step back and let them go and, let them live life and they'll come back. It always
I'm
comes
just
back.
at this point, I'm just trying to find out what those milestones are to where I will stop. You know what I mean? So I originally wanted to go to medical school. Don't really care too much for that right now. It's something that I'm kind of putting away. But I did find out a lot about the Air Force pilots program. And to go fly F-16s and F-35s and all
There's
that.
something in you and Seth both in these planes, man.
I know, but there's something.
Top Gun.
Who don't want to fly that fast,
I wouldn't mind flying that fast, but I don't know if I want to do that shit every day.
I feel like I'd rather drive fast instead of
Oh,
flying.
I'd definitely rather drive fast.
Yeah, fuck flying.
But I mean, once you get your pilot's license and you pass flight school in the Air Force,
And it's another rank, ain't it?
yeah, I mean, you go to the officer side. Now you're talking big money.
Oh, yeah.
Do you stick with that, or did I get my pilot, do it for a few years, and then get out at 16, 12 years? Another 8 years, you can retire. So at what point do you call it quits? Is kind of where it's at.
I don't know, but that's another thing I did learn when I grew up that I didn't know about when I was 18. Anybody can fly a fucking plane. You just got to go through a course.
Yeah.
That was a vital piece of hey,
Or
another-
be on one that's going down, because I promise you, if it's heading down, I'm going to fly that bitch.
Yeah. Like anybody can just walk up there and give it a try. Fuck.
You know, you can get your pilot's license sooner than you can get your driver's license.
Yeah, was it 14 or some shit? And there's a lot of shit that I just didn't know until I got older, like dumb shit that you wouldn't even think about. Like, you can order a tattoo gun right now and the ink and everything. You don't have to have no fucking license for that shit. You can just order all that and start
You
tattooing
can order
yourself.
a bride. You can do a lot
That
of stuff.
impressed you?
Yeah, I was like, well, I never really thought about it till I seen somebody do it. I was like, damn, you got to have a license to buy permanent ink and a needle to put it in your body.
And
'Cause,
put
you
a
know-
sign up on the side of the road, tattoo shop.
Yeah, you don't have to have a fucking license
So
or nothing. You can
overall, you're happy with where you're sitting. You're excited about going over the sea.
Yeah, I mean, we got that 3-year window between in 2020 we moved out. Or actually, in 2019 we moved out from the house, so from my parents' house. So I've had since 2020 till now in San Antonio, which is 500
different
miles
world.
from home.
Yeah.
Um,
And a different world. That's a
but that's where I learned a lot. So he did teach me a lot about finances, but more so interest rates and just all this other stuff.
so you were a little bit better prepared than I would say some of today's youth
Oh,
that
absolutely.
is out here eating Tide Pods.
But yeah. But at the same time, there was still a lot of stuff that I don't think he realized he needed to teach me because it's just something of regular life. But paying for internet, paying for groceries. You think about all.
I never had internet.
Yeah, well, true.
I just got it
You
3
just got
months
that
ago.
3 months ago.
So you're excited about going to England?
Yeah.
Is
I
your
mean,
wife excited?
so being a paramedic, we've always been in those stressful situations, which I think prepared us a lot for this. But I mean, it's a lot going on.
You excited about being a daddy?
It's a lot going on. I'm extremely excited. I don't know if I've really had the time between
You
all the
won't.
military paperwork,
You
the
won't.
move, getting everything shipped to really let anything.
You'll
sink
never
in.
have the time you
We
won't
have a
expect it.
lot going on. We just found out we was having a grandchild, our first grandbaby that's going to be born in England. They're getting ready to move over. Youngest son, 23 years old, is moving off of our property. Just got done signing for his house today. So our kids are, both of them now are, after today, officially
And I wasn't
gone,
going to say
and
nothing,
it
but
sucks.
like Seth is in a race. Who's he racing?
Yeah, he is.
He's signing, moving, loading, same day. He's gone.
That motherfucker ready to do something.
He was.
I don't know what it is, but he's gonna fucking have it recorded somewhere.
Well, y'all-
He's ready to do some wild
You
shit.
have to understand, Gabe came up and went through the growing up, turning into an adult age when we were really struggling and blowing the company up. Seth came up right behind him after the company exploded. Everything's doing great. We're investing in other companies. So Gabe joins the Air Force, goes off to make better money, bigger, better things. Seth stays at home to stay home and make better money and do bigger and better things. So you get the response from Gabe a lot, well, you wasn't rich when I left. You get from Seth, well, I've never really done anything on my own. My parents just give me everything.
And I got to know your definition of rich when we get done with this, because I'm still trying to catch this.
I'm an E4 kid.
Everybody's rich to an E4.
Shit.
But my point is, with Seth, he's worked for me. He's lived in my house. We buy the new property. It had a second house on it. Him and his wife move into that house.
Which was kind of why you bought the property.
we bought
One
the
one of the perks to the property that you were buying was at a second house.
Yes, that was one of the perks
Sore
to it.
subject, yeah.
It's very, very sore.
Are you going to have a she cave or
aren't you building another house?
What do they call it? A she
shed.
she shed. You going to have a she shed?
No, right now I just want to go sit in there and cry
Bougie.
because my kids are gone.
Bougie. They're not gone, JJ. They're across town.
They're
Bougie.
moving now.
Across the table.
They're
Bougie's
moving
got a
out.
house.
They feel like they want to do something and accomplish something on their own.
That's normal.
They don't want to live in mom and daddy's house, even though it ain't. We don't live there. We just gave them the house.
My
But-
thing is, I couldn't either though.
I get it. I get it. So, but our oldest son is now, who's been in San Antonio, now moving to England. They come in and say, hey, y'all are having a grandbaby in England. So
Yeah.
we're trying to get passports. We've never been out of the country.
Yeah.
Now we got to go to England just to see our grandbaby. Our youngest son and daughter-in-law is now, hey, we're moving off the property. So we're buying a house. So I went and bought her a new dog.
To replace the children.
Yes.
Naturally.
And look at it. If y'all watching on YouTube, y'all can see that she is like way cuter than either one of my kids.
Well, we have rolled this dude for 45 minutes. That's probably our longest podcast we've done yet, but it was interesting, and we'll probably have to touch on it some more and just kind of dig through. We've got a lot of things happening in 2023. 23 is kicking off with a big bang the first week with the Outdoor Expo show. Thumper, High Lifter, JTX, Doolittle Trailers. A lot of people going on there. We've got special guests this month, I know, in High Lifter, Thumper, Superior Graphics. I'm sure we'll have Gabe on some more. We're going to bump up the mics and the headphones and get more seats in here because we're getting bigger and bigger. But 2022 is just the beginning. Hold on to your ass because we're coming for 2023 because there is only one way, and
That's
is
the outlaw way.